intelligence community are persons they would want to track. NSA personnel in the community usually have cover identities such as social workers, lawyers, and business owners. Individual citizens occasionally targeted for surveillance by independently operating NSA personnel can control the lives of hundreds of thousands of individuals in the U.S. by using the NSA's domestic intelligence network and cover businesses. The operations independently run by them can sometimes go beyond the bounds of law. Long-term control and sabotage of tens of thousands of unwitting citizens by NSA operatives is likely to happen. And, folks, it already is happening. These agencies, above the law, they have been placed above the law by executive orders and executive decisions coming out of the White House. And it's been going on for a long time. Many people are being murdered out here. Many illegal activity. Many laws that are so far out of control and against the Constitution are in place. Okay? NSA's domestic electronic surveillance network. As of the early 1960s, the most advanced computers in the world were at the NSA Fort Meade. Research breakthroughs for with these computers were kept for the NSA. At the present time, the NSA has nanotechnology computers that are 15 years ahead of present computer technology. The NSA obtains blanket coverage of information in the U.S. by using advanced computers that use artificial intelligence to screen all communications, regardless of medium, for keywords that should be brought to the attention of NSA agents and cryptologists. These computers monitor all communications at the transmitting and receiving ends. This blanket coverage of the U.S. is the result of the NSA signal intelligence. Okay? So understand that these agencies and these operations are out there. Now, the NSA signals intelligence use of electromagnetic frequency brain stimulation. Okay? NSA signals intelligence uses EMF brain stimulation for remote neuromonitoring. Electronic brain link. Okay? That's EBL. EMF brain stimulation is in the development of MK Ultra. Hold on 1 second. We're getting a little interference on this telephone. Okay. Bear with me 1 moment. We'll go back to that. Without any contact with the subject, remote neuromonitoring can map out electrical activity from the visual cortex of a subject's brain and show images from the subject's brain on a video monitor okay? They can show your brain on a video monitor. They have the technology to do that. Okay? Let's just say, for example, electrical activity in the speech center of the brain can be translated into the subject's verbal thoughts. RNM can send encoded signals to the brain's auditory cortex, thus allowing audio communications direct to the brain, bypassing the ears. NSA operatives can use this covertly to debilitate subjects by simulating auditory hallucinations characteristic of paranoid schizophrenia. Without any contact with the subject, remote neuromonitoring can map out electrical activity from the visual cortex of the subject's brain and show images from the subject's brain on a video monitor. NSA operatives see what the surveillance subject's eyes are seeing. Visual memory can also be seen. RNM can send images direct to the visual cortex, bypassing the eyes and the optic nerves. I don't know, folks, how many people that I know personally that are victims of this criminal activity that have reported this type of these incidents happening to only be railroaded into a mental institution or worse and lose their lives or become further implanted by these criminals. This is taking place within the NSA. They are telling you this information is out there, and you can read this. So if you have a loved one saying that they're starting to hear voices and all this kind of stuff, don't automatically go running to the shrink who's going to help the NSA to railroad your loved one. Read up about this information. It is out there. It is critical, folks. These agencies claim to be above the law. They're murdering people out here. Further, National Security Agency signals intelligence electronic brain link technology. The NSA Signals Intelligence has a proprietary ability to monitor remotely and non-invasively information in the human brain by digitally decoding the evoked potentials in the 30 to 50 hertz, 5 milliwatt electromagnetic emissions from the brain. Neuronal activity in the brain creates a shifting electrical pattern that has a shifting magnetic flux. This flux puts out a constant 30 to 50 hertz, 5 milliwatt electromagnetic frequency wave contained in the electromagnetic emission from the brain are spikes and patterns called evoked potentials. Every thought reaction, motor command, auditory event, and visual image in the brain has corresponding evoked potential or set of evoked potentials. The EMF emission from the brain can be decoded into the current thoughts, images, and the sounds of the subject's brain. Okay, so you can see how easily with this type of equipment that they can monitor your brain. Anyone on this planet, for that matter. Okay, we will get into the community targeting system on another show because the community targeting system also exists. There are people that are doing this work, and they are members of unions, they are members of your community that work in your surroundings each and every single day, folks, and they have gotten a hold of this technology through these agents, through organized crime in which these agencies work with, and they are targeting and killing American citizens as we speak right now. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to turn the show over to Bad Baby, and I want her to let people know we're going to do a little current events now because she has some very, very interesting information about what's going on in Hardin, Montana. Bad Baby?
Yeah, Chris, thanks so much. It's great to be here tonight. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in, and we've got a lot of good information for you all, and we hope you hang in there and educate yourself and learn to stand up and fight for what's right. First thing I want to go over, and I want to mention on that community targeting thing, it just infuriates me, Chris, when people say, oh, it's not community, because it's not happening to them or they haven't figured out who is involved. You know, for people to say it's not anyone in your community, it aggravates me so much because...
Well, we have people out there. Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I know my community's involved. I have pictures. You know this. I know who my perpetrators are. I've hid out in my backyard and caught them, chased them out of my yard, got their license numbers. I have their names. I have their addresses, and I have their number. And believe me, they have mine too. And they don't have the balls to face me face to face. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And they are out there, and people who claim that these communities, these targeting citizens who are targeting other citizens in communities don't exist, either are ignorant of the fact or they are perpetrators of that fact. But either way, I agree with you firsthand knowledge right here where I am living. I can tell people that, yes, this does exist. These programs do exist. There are people who are literally arrested by crooked, corrupt police officers to be framed and set up and done away with. There are citizens being dragged off the street under false diagnoses, illegal diagnoses of mental illness, and they are being implanted and chipped, and they are sent back out to be further tortured in their homes. There are people entering other people's homes, setting up these high-technology radio pieces of equipment in their homes using ultrasound, infrasound technologies, lasers, microwave pulse lasers. So, but we'll get into that at another point because that's a whole itself. But just to let you know that this government, this criminal government, okay, that, claims to be this wonderful constitutional government is nothing but a band of criminals and traitors. And I hope that one day, very, very soon, that the Department of Justice will be torn down and we will have justice and these criminals will be brought to the light. And they will be charged as criminals, traitors, and murderers. Go ahead, Bad Baby. I'm sorry. I get all my...
That's okay. You and and I both get, when a nerve gets touched, it's like someone puts our finger in a light socket. We just got to get on our little pedestal move and start ranting. But before I touch on what's happening in Montana here, I wanted to go over a little bit of